Wow, that was such a fun surprise. Oh man, me and Will have been sitting on that for about a month and a half now, so we finally get to show it out to the world. But hello to all the internet folks out there on internet land this evening, and welcome to another fantastic episode of Queers, your a TTRPG romp through fun, comedy, emotions, and slightly some inappropriate things, as we have come to find so far in this lovely little game. I am your queers master, Mikey, and joining me this evening is, of course, my cavalcade of players. So, of course, joining me this evening, first and foremost, is Mr. Chris here, Riku, whatever you want to call him. Just don't call him late for dinner. But hi, Chris, how we doing this evening?
I am doing great. Y'all couldn't really see, but I was rocking out to that theme. I absolutely love it. Oh my god. Hello everybody. I'm Riku. Um I'm back and I am playing our lovely freedom-loving pirate Kyler.
I was like, wait, who does he play again? But I'm
I'm
so
the one that makes a dad joke with my name.
also pirate. Enough said. Anyways, which we may or may not see more of that this episode. And then, of course, joining us tonight as well is my friend, becoming a really good friend of mine. Love him to death. Andrew is in the house. Hello, Andrew. How we doing?
Good. Excited to be here. I feel like it's been a while, so I'm excited to jump back into this. Yeah, I'm Andrew. I play Atticus Wynn, the ally, and yeah, I'm looking to see where we go with wrapping up this story and seeing what we do with our group here.
I am so excited because even though this chapter is closing, I am excited for the next arc. And then rounding out our players this evening, of course, is another good friend of mine. When he's not playing in a TTRPG on stream, you can catch him throwing it down on the ones and twos on the internet as well. Mr. JT, Mr. Papa Zen Raven, if you will. Hello, my friend. How are we this evening?
Hello, hello, doing great. This is we're also trying to, on my side, get the word out a little bit more. So I am actually streaming this on TikTok through my profile. So we're trying to get as much spread as we can because this has been an amazing game to be playing, kind of like a prototype, but not, if you will. I'm just really honored to be here. Thank you.
I wouldn't have it any other way. I love all of you guys, and I'm so happy that we are here this evening. Of course, we are without our other player, Connor, this evening, but do not fret. The wordsmith will be back at some point. So I am super excited to have him. Shout out to Connor. We loves you. We miss you tonight. But now that we got the pleasantries out of the way, let's get to the horror. Just kidding, it's not that type of game. Or is it? Honestly, you never know with me, as most of the folks here know. I try to keep it very whimsical, but my brain also has a switch to make things very horrifying when it needs to be. So, yeah, so we'll see what happens with all of this. But let's get into a bit of a recap. So, last time on Queers, our intrepid group of queeros, if you will, went into the memory space, the inner space of our magician person who is kind of causing havoc in the real world in order to better understand exactly what went wrong at what point in their life did things kind of go off track a little bit to make them, well, want to capture people into mirrors and cause havoc in the real world. So just your everyday thing. Find out why a bad guy does the bad guy things, or we don't know. I mean, hey, people trap other people in mirrors all the time. It's just a normal phenomenon in this world. But our Queeros ended up going into the memory in various fashions, dressed up as different circus acts, and they learned that our magician once had an affinity to have magic be used to spread joy and love to the world, and also ran into the Squeak Squad, which is, the magician's little animated objects, figures, toys, whatever you want to call it. And then they met the dad, who is less than stellar, is the best way of putting it. Um, I gotta wait like 15 more minutes before I can start dropping curse words, so I'm gonna be a good person today. But he was not necessarily nicest, and our QUEERZ ended up finding that out when they entered the magician's tent and basically fought all the mirror creatures to stop from whatever he was planning to do with this magic trick. Thankfully, our QUEERZ were successful, but unfortunately, they also happened to witness a very, very heated exchange between the magician and his son, who basically said that magic's use is only to be used to control and to be used for power, and that happiness and joy have no place, and entertainment is not a thing that magicians should do, which absolutely crushed this poor little magician. And our heroes, our QUEERZ, were able to get a better understanding at what it was, but it is thanks to them living out this moment in time that they were able to gain a better understanding and see the perspective of why our magician is doing the things that he does. And they ended up getting a fragment of, that allows them to be like, you know what? We're going to figure this out. It's going to be great. So they ended up getting a fragment in the form of a toy magician wand that, when flicked forward, shows plastic flowers, which is, fun and great. And they exited the memory, and now we find ourselves back into the attic. Of course, we have all of our favorite characters involved, as well as our little dust spider that the ally has adopted for the group as well. Hey, you know what? We all need a pet sometimes. These pet spiders are great. But yeah, so that is where we find ourselves. So the three of you have exited this mirror. You all have seen that the memory no longer shows of a boy floating in a comatose state, but now shows this young boy with his squeak squad. And again, the inside of the mirror has gone from a shade of a cold kind of turquoise blue to a more warm orangey reds kind of thing, and shows him smiling and happy with the little squeak squad. So yeah, so that is where we're at. So the three of you now find yourself back in the attic of the inner space. Of course, the door to the crystal garden is still there, where Mother and RTO are behind on the other side. And then, of course, leading in front of you is the door back into the monochromatic tone of the Hall of Mirrors as well. So, gentlemen and QUEERZ, what would we like to do? So, the worst thing to give any TTRPG players: choices.
Choice and locked doors. Yeah.
My suggestion is we split the group. No, I'm just kidding. I know
That's
every
good.
DM loves that.
Because I've got dark vision.
Oh, awesome. Don't forget to remind Mikey. He might forget.
I got you.
Already starting. Don't worry. We're going to change that. Just kidding. Stay tuned. No, so yeah, so that's where we are.
Well, that
Yeah,
was an interesting scenario. I probably going to have some very much reoccurring PTSD from that, but I guess this is all part of the job now.
I guess so. But hey, at least it looks like some good came from it.
I missed it. Did you say is the mirror empty now, or is he in there still?
So the image of him is still there, but whereas before you entered the mirror, he was kind of just floating in a comatose stasis, now the colors and the image have changed a little bit. So whereas he was pulling a Kingdom Hearts, like sleeping, because his heart was asleep, if you will, now it shows that the image has changed to a more orangey red glow, and now it's full of life than it was just that our little magician sitting in a comatose state.
Atticus will go over and just poke the mirror, just to like check it out. Like, is this all real? Like, what's going? Are we still in the dream within the dream?
I knew I was muted. I was just testing you. No, so whereas before you kind of was able to go into the mirror, as you poke it, it kind of offers a little bit of resistance. So it's like touching solid glass, if you will. You can't, it's like a one-way door. Now you can't go back in. But that's okay though, because you accomplished what needed to be done and you saw what needed to be seen. So unfortunately, you cannot go back into the mirror, into the memory, as you've kind of lived through the memory. And now it has been put back into, the storage unit of the brain, so to speak, and the heart.
So if that's taken care of, then how do we get back? Looking back at my crew. Did you say Mother was in here now in this room with us?
So there are two doors.
Okay, she's back in there. Okay.
Yeah, so there's two doors. One to the inner sanctum / the crystal garden where RTO and Mother are. So that's the big, home space, if you will. And then towards the far end of this attic is the door that will lead you back into the monochromatic worlds of those hall of mirrors that you guys passed through when you first got thrown into the inner space of the magician.
So, do we think we can all just like go back through the mirrors? Should we all go check in with Mother? Kind of thought we'd go back home after we solved the problem, but I guess we haven't fully solved it yet.
I guess we could do. Feels kind of like a checkpoint that we need to go back and talk with Mother.
We gotta go collect our reward.
Be like, hey, Mom,
Right, yeah.
just letting you know.
Let's go see if she's got the exclamation mark or the question mark.
See, that's how we do it.
Turn into quest.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's
Might as
go to the
well.
door.
Cool. So y'all decide to go back through the door. So let me just get everything up and running. So of course, this is the door that you have entered and exited twice, I believe, at this point. So that's always a good time for sure. But you guys make your way back into the intersanctum, still as glorious as ever, with this at the center of this room is this big console surrounded by the crystal things. We've been here enough to know that it's very pretty. But of course, as the three of you enter the room, you see RTO still at the console just doing things, and then sitting on the luxurious, lavish couch is Mother herself. So the three of you enter, door closes. It's very nice and peaceful and serene here in terms of like noise atmosphere, in the sense it's not like super quiet like a librarian. It's just like soft little hums and drones of the tech and the crystals resonating with said tech, but it is loud enough for Mother and RTO to look in the direction of the door, as they both hear the door close. And as the three of you enter, you see RTO wave at you guys what seems to be some sort of cookie half hanging off of their mouth, so to speak. So they've been chomping on some sweets. And Mother gets up from the counts and she kind of elegantly floats over to the three of you. And in a very docile and loving tone, she begins to say to the three of you, I sense that you three were very successful in retrieving a fragment of hope. Well done, my intrepid heroes. I am so very proud of the three of you. And again, the tone is very warm, and she smiles in her, taking words from Steven Universe, giant woman form, if you will.
Which one of us had the wand?
The wordsmith, I think, had it.
That is absolutely correct. But for the sake of this, I will say in between coming back through the door and, having this conversation, we'll say that Wordsmith is here, but he's in the background. And so Wordsmith
He's
produces
at a
the
loss
wand.
for words.
Oh. All right, guys, that was a great show. I'm going to leave.
Now he's
Gonna be
just
one of those nights, huh?
Oh, I've missed this so much. But Wordsmith, at a loss for words, procures the fragment of joy, which is the wand, and kind of extends it out to Mother. Mother grabs the toy wand. She quizzically kind of looks at it, examining it like an artifact. Now, of course, to the three of you, in some point, whether in your childhood, your adolescence, or even in your adulthood, and everyone has seen the toy wand that does the flower trick at some capacity. But to Mother, she's looking at this and examining it like it's some sort of ancient artifact of some sort, like it was from a far, far gone off, like ancient period of time, like ancient civilization status. And you see her flick the wand, which procures the fake flowers. And despite her maternal, figure and her demeanor, you get a sense that there is somewhat of an inner childlike quality of enjoyment that she's getting right now playing with this thing. And then she sees the three of you, immediately composes herself, goes back to that more warm, motherly figure, and gives you, Kyler, the wand. It's like, yeah, so, despite her being a very ethereal kind of purple skin, you swear that you could see her blush a little bit of kind of slightly embarrassed caught playing with the wand, so to speak. But
It
she
happens to
goes,
the best of us.
not going to read into that as more than I need to, but new magic wand. Shout out to Tyler, the creator. That's the name of our episode now. New magic wand. Just kidding. Anyways, so Kyler, you get the wand back. And Mother goes, so now that you have the wand, I believe now it's time to give you the information of what happens now. And before anybody can say, it's like, don't worry, ally. I figured that's what was on your mind. So I promise I will explain this thing. But first, if you would follow me. And she kind of floats over once again to the couch that is now adorned with even more snacks than before.
Are we still in our gear, or when we came through, did we like hero?
De-queerify?
Yes.
You know what? I will say that you guys were technically still in your queero uniforms when you came into the room. So whether or not you want to kind of like revert back to your everyday citizen form, that is up to you.
So the immediate sense that there is snacks in the room, yeah, all that armor just came off. It literally just in like a burst of cherry blossoms, and now I'm back into my civilian uniform.
Nice. Okay.
Atticus will do the rare thing of the Power Rangers when you actually saw, like, they took off the helmet.
Yes.
In their gear. So he'll like take off the like split helmet. Not the new age MCU fold back things, but just a full two latches on the side that just undo it.
Season 1 of the OG Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We
Oh,
prefer the costume, but we want to see your face because you're the actors.
And Kyler is also gonna like de de-scout or whatever we're gonna call it. Um, in his way, it's weird because like he takes the tricorn hat off, and as he brings it down, it's almost like a TikTok transition where he brings it down and his costume just changes back to his real self. The camera just happens to be in the right place to see it, and you are all just like, "Wait, how did that happen?"
I love it so much. So, the three of you make your way over to the couch. Y'all have a seat. There is lots of snacks there too, ranging from regular tea, biscuits, and things like that to sweets. As the queers master, we're gonna figure out a way for a fun way to be like, how does she afford all these sweets? But anyways, uh, so the three of you sit down into these very comfy but slightly oversized chairs and couches. It's like in a beanbag effect where you're slowly kind of like sinking into it a little bit, but then stopping halfway because you've reached the bottom of the couch cushion. Kyler's flaring around. Just kidding. So, as the three of you are kind of as comfortable as you could be sinking into these largely oversized couches, Mother begins to talk to you three. So, as I've mentioned before, and as you have all experienced, when it comes to those who have fallen under the influence of ignorance, whether it be from a small bit to a more large malevolence of ignorance, in order to better understand why it is that they are doing the things they do, is to go and see the moment in time which kind of made them who they currently are today. And as you've experienced, once you've come to the conclusion and gotten to the end of this moment of time, you are taken out of it, and depending on certain things, as you have seen and experienced, you have gotten a fragment of the parts, whether it be an emotion, an experience, any general thing, might anything honestly, that was kind of squandered or taken advantage of. So now comes the more difficult part. You're gonna have to go back to the real world, your home, and you need to use the fragment in order to finalize the change, if you will. So the Eternal has addressed it, but now you have to make the actual person understand what it is they are doing and come to terms and have them make that change for themselves. We can't make the decision for them. And in all honesty, true growth and change doesn't happen that way. Anyways, think of yourselves as the support cheerleaders, if you will. You are here to support them, but ultimately they have to make that decision. You just kind of give them a little push in the right direction, but ultimately it is their decision, and only time will tell if they make those steps. So now, as I said, the more difficult part lies ahead. You are going to have to take this fragment, and you're going to need to make a breakthrough with this magician, and hopefully he is receptive to what you have in store or what you're going to say.
This was very Back to the Future-y. Because so we helped the kid, and now we have to help the adult version of the kid.
Yes. So the fragment, in a sense, is a what's the word that everyone uses? Think of it as like a memento or a symbolic representation of the one thing that ignorance took and warped for them. In this case, you hold the fragment of joy. So the moment that you witness the magician's joy be warped by ignorance is what you are going to need to help him rediscover. Why does he? What is his real reason for, well, what he does as a magician? So you are going to kind of need to help him remind him of that and break through. So the mask, so to speak, over his eyes kind of cracks and disintegrates so he could start to see things more clearly.
All right. So we got to go back to our world and teach him the power of love, of magic.
Or at least to remind him of it.
All right. How do we get back?
Well, I believe we might have a solution to that. And as Mother says this, RTO, would you be so kind to bring me what we've been working on? And RTO, with cookie still in mouth, just gives a little salute. Kind of dives underneath the module, and again, comedically, you see them throw things like there goes a wrench, there goes a rubber duck at some point. Like, it's just weirdness and wackiness. But ultimately, as RTO emerges, holds up what looks to be a key of some sort in a very prismatic design with the different colors of the rainbow shining through. And it looks like it's crystallized as well. So basically, it's a crystal key. This key will get you back to the real world. Unfortunately, you're going to need to make your way through where you guys started, but the key will guide you your way and it will help you get back to where you need to go. But please be careful, because even though you now have a better understanding of the magician, ultimately. Uh oh.
He used the key. He stepped through the portal too quick.
No! Anyways, so I'll continue, but please be careful, as this is still the inner space. And ultimately, if the magician doesn't want you in here, he will find a way to make sure that you guys leave. Now, whether that be in one piece or not is up to how you go about getting to where you were, but you should be okay, especially now that you have the powers that you do.
I'm intrigued about this. This will be interesting to see what we can do.
Yeah. I Yeah, this is gonna be very interesting, especially with what we know now. But I'm curious to how everyone else is gonna react of, you know, what we've become.
Mother kind of just solemnly nods and says, I trust you guys, and I know that you're gonna succeed. I know you will. Just trust yourself and trust each other and know that you can do this. And she just warmly smiles at you all. So that with that conversation over, the three of you kind of get back up. You bid adieu to Mother and RTO for now. Oh, one more thing as you guys are about to head out the door. RTO also throws you, Mr. Lockwood, another key. which is also kind of similar to the prismatic kind of design of it, but this one is a gold prismatic key. And RTO states, you guys are always welcome back. Just put this into any door and it will bring you back here to the inner sanctum. So should you need anything, whether it be help, advice, or, if you want to stop by for more snacks, you are more than welcome to. And so now the three of you have this key, which will give you access to the inner sanctum, and you can stop by anytime, whether it be narrative purposes or in the cooldown episodes, as I call them. Stay tuned for more on that a little bit later.
Did we just get the velvet key?
I mean,
Look,
well, all of a sudden, Mother takes the form of a very pale man with a long nose.
Oh, lordy.
We'll talk afterwards, but this may or may not be slightly based off of the Persona series.
Oh, I know.
So we'll talk afterwards, but yes, you are right. So again, you have the key, which will allow you guys back in here.
Nice.
And with that, you guys exit out the door, and now you are back into the attic. So there's only one more place to go. Back into the hall of mirrors.
Okay. That's fine.
Might as well make our way through this.
Let's go.
Yeah. And yeah, we're gonna start making our way through the Hall of Mirrors, whether we like it or not.
Alrighty. So hold up. So you guys make your way through the attic. You open the door, which now leads you back into the mirrors. Welcome back, Atticus. I hope you enjoyed the nap on the super squishy couches that you got lost in. Those couches are extra dimensional, everyone.
There we go.
So, alrighty. So, as I stated, the three of you made your way back into the attic, and you opened the door back into the Hall of Mirrors. Whereas the inner sanctum was a nice, calming sense of quiet, you are immediately reminded of why you didn't like this place initially when you walked through here. As for you, Kyler, and for you, Atticus, you are filled once again with the uneasiness of the absolute quiet silence of this monochromatic hallway with mirrors of different shapes and sizes. It is very unnerving and frightening.
I don't like it.
Yeah, Lockwood, this is your first time entering this Hall of Mirrors, and you are also filled with a sense of uneasiness with all of it.
Oh, God. You guys had to go through this?
Yeah. And here we are again.
That's okay. Okay. Well,
we'll get
so
through it.
we
We'll
just
get through it.
to the other end of the hall?
Yep.
Just don't look in the mirrors.
Just straight ahead. Don't
Okay.
pay attention.
I'm just going to look at my feet. Hopefully I don't run into anybody.
I mean,
So, I will say, just for the story's sake, Atticus and Kyler, you once again get back into the line as you guys did coming down the hallway. You put Lockwood into the middle between you two, and you guys make your way down. There's one big change, though, from the previous encounter into the Hall of Mirrors. So, whereas, Kyler, you experienced this, as you saw distorted puppet versions of yourself, in the mirrors, and try not to look as you were going down the hallway, these mirrors now have a more, what's the correct adjective that I want to use? They're more warped than they were before. So whereas it was like your standard kind of like nice, very Victorian era design in the wooden frames of the mirrors, Now they have been warped into like what would happen if you let Tim Burton design this hallway, but he was on acid. Like now it is just straight up the labyrinth levels of horror. So
Nope.
the wood,
Nope.
the wood is rotted. There are thorns, and as you look closer, there aren't vines and there aren't regular vines and thorns warped on this thing of the rotted wood of these mirror frames. They look to be now like vines and thorns, but like made of barbed wire and metal. And you
Good
see
Lord.
that it is more twisted and dark, and you can see wooden puppet parts kind of like sticking out of the mirrors, like there's a hand dangling on one. You see like half of puppet's body just sitting there motionless, like there. It is pure nightmare fuel. You
Um,
also see strewn about the floor around you as you're walking down here broken pieces and chunks of porcelain dolls as well.
so definitely gonna put my helmet back on, and I think I'm gonna call my sword forward. I just have this really bad feeling like these things are gonna like start moving.
I love this
Oh.
image.
You know it's gonna be good when he does a picture change.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
All of a sudden, you see somebody named Alphabet Flight. Just kidding.
Ah.
And copyright strike.
No!
No.
Please. You know, Wicked, John Chu, everybody involved with both the musical and the play, please don't. But hey, you know, if y'all want to come on, I'm not going to say no. Jeff Goldblum, let's play. Anyways. So, Ally, you summon your sword.
Yeah. All right. I don't think we got much choice. Let's go. Try to make it quick and try not to touch anything.
Or look at
Say
anything.
what?
Or look at anything.
As Wordsmith touches something. No, I'm just kidding.
That's why he's not here. Sucked into a mirror.
Where's it? Where's a bag of holding when you need one?
Be like, that's the wrong show. No, I was kidding.
You are in the
think
wrong dimension, sir. Get back in your mirror.
You need to go to the 20th dimension in order for you to do that. Just saying. Anyways, so as you three make your way through this Pan's Labyrinth Nightmare Fuel-esque hallway, despite everything, also, the one thing I forgot to add about this too, you distinctly hear like the distorted cries of what seem to be like those baby dolls that when you pull the string and everything.
No. No.
Atticus goes back in the attic.
Y'all are
No,
like
no.
almost to the exit and then you just
That
run
couch,
back.
the couch is fine. She got snacks in there.
This is my new home.
Yeah, I live here now.
You're just like, I think we can manage to live here. You know, we got snacks. We can always go visit mother in the room. But
Okay.
despite everything, you guys do make your way down to the end of the hallway where Kyler, you and Atticus started with, you know, Wordsmith and everything. And at first, you don't see anything that is relatively remotely the size, shape, features of a door. But then the key that you receive from Mother begins to light up. And just like a certain Square Enix game, the key kind of just shoots forward. A prismatic light like shoots out. And a door appears in front of you after the light dissipates from its prismatic brightness, if you will. See, I didn't say the name, so I can't get sued. I'm just kidding.
Because, you know, Disney would be on that like that.
Yeah.
Listen, between Disney and WWE, like I was so afraid. I thought we were about to get copyright strike for our podcast, but that's a whole nother episode and a whole different show. Anyways, overthrow the mouse. Just kidding. Not really. Anyways, so door is now in front of you, and funnily enough, it's in the shape of a magician's top hat.
That tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a doorknob?
Alrighty, so Atticus, you decide to touch the door.
I touch it.
It's
I knock
mahogany,
3
by the way.
I knock 3 times.
Of course it is.
It's mahogany. Alrighty, so you touch the mahogany door and you're dead. I'm just kidding. No.
Come back as a puppet.
Oof.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. Welcome to PvP action. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you guys, at least not yet, anyways. No, so Atticus, as you reach for the doorknob, you turn the door. Whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing, as you turn the door kind of opens itself open. And on the other side, you can't really see anything except a bright light.
Okay.
That's
Don't go
because
into
you're
the
dead.
light.
I died.
Yeah, you saw the light. You're the
It's
only one that can see.
beautiful over here.
We just saw this door open up and you just fell to the floor.
Fell to the floor, but I see a bright light. I'm
Yep.
looking down at myself.
Hmm.
Then either way, I'll head towards the light.
Don't towards the light. I'm just kidding. So, Atticus, you head towards the light. You go into the light. Door remains open. Lockwood and Kyler, you just saw your friend go through the door.
Well,
So
it's
as soon
not
as-
not the
so-
strangest thing that I've seen so far. Might
No,
as well
but-
give it a shot.
No, but he is always the guinea pig for the doors, though.
He is, and I don't hear any screaming from the other end, so I think we might be fine.
Not yet.
No one hears you scream in space.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so terrifying.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with these puppets anymore. Let's go.
Yeah. Yes, please. Let's
We'll go ahead and step through said door. Go
Same
into
here.
the light.
The light is coming. Anyways, so you enter through the door. The three of you, well, Atticus first and then the other two shortly behind. The three of you find yourself back into the circus tent where, well, for Kyler and for Atticus, this is where you guys got trapped into the magician's. Somehow he was able to make that hat way super large to trap 3 grown men into it and transport them into the inner space. So as you are back in the circus tent, the scene is not as chaotic as it was when you guys got thrown into the hat, so to speak. It's less of how do I put this? It's less of watching your loved ones and innocent bystanders getting thrown into mirrors, and more so aftermath. You see broken pieces of mirrors. You see that the lights have kind of gone dim and is a little bit dark and decrepit. And you also make the sudden realization that once was a lively, carnival / circus, it is now eerily quiet, silent, if you will.
It was nighttime when this all
Oh,
happened.
that
It's
scares
still
me.
nighttime.
Yeah, so it's about nighttime, but the carnival doesn't close until like 10 p.m. So
No,
and it
I
is
was
yeah.
making sure it's not like I mean, I guess we don't know if it's the same night, but just wondering if we at least could know if that much amount of time passed. But if it still looks like it's night, then I'll assume it's still the same night.
Yeah. So it is eerily quiet. and you don't hear anything else except for your own breath. Like no carnival music, no sounds of rides, no noise of joy and merriment to be heard anywhere.
It's quiet.
A little too quiet. Yeah. There's no one else around, is there? Or is there?
I start. Kyler's gonna start like moving and looking around, seeing if, as carefully as he can, to see if anyone's hiding. Maybe he could find his date per se. Seeing all the smashed mirrors makes him kind of think, well, maybe they're free too.
Alrighty. So, Kyler, as you look around, to kind of give a little bit more perspective, the three of you are inside of the circus tent itself where the magician did his show. Lockwood, I will say that the rest of the group informed you of what exactly happened before meeting up with you in the inner space. And so you are all caught up on the events of what went down prior to everybody becoming heroes in this little group. And Kyler, as you are looking through everything, you can't really find much of any signs of, well, any form of life, both humanoid or not. But I will say that upon looking through everything, you do find the scarf of your maybe boyfriend, question mark, partner. We still got to establish all of this. So you find
He just random guy, cute guy that showed up when I was shooting my gun.
y'all met on Grindr. No, I was kidding.
Oh God. Oh God. Please no.
Anyway, no. We are more wholesome than that. No, we're not. Anyways. No, so you do find Q's scarf. And then Atticus, I will say that you do find your dear aunt's sweater in the pile of like broken mirror shards as well.
Atticus is going to look around. If nothing is preventing us from, like, nothing seems to be stopping us right now, he's gonna kind of make a pass around and try to get any indicators of, like, has a great deal of time passed by, so are things that, like, would have spilled, like food or drinks or anything, have they dried up, have they aged at all, as he makes his way towards, like, one of the openings of the tent, to try and look outside and see if he gets any other indications of if there's anything, like, significant out there as well.
That is a good question. So, you know what? I will say that you're kind of peek outside of the tent. Okay, so as you do. So, Atticus, remember that internal feeling that you had when your aunt calmed you down towards the beginning of this whole adventure? Well, now that feeling is back, but now it's about 2 times worse as you peek out, and it looks like a natural disaster swept through this carnival.
Huh.
And to make matters even worse, the monochromatic color and tone that was the hallways is now matching everything in front of you as far as the eye can see. It seems that the life and the color, the clown from Powerpuff Girls, has been drained from this landscape. And all of a sudden, you just see a big red Satan-looking person. No, I'm just kidding. I was like, you guys, him is here. I'm just kidding.
It's him.
Ooh.
Gay icon him from
No,
Powerpuff Girls is here.
I was doing a whole who's on first. Never mind.
I got you. I understood that reference.
what can I say? I'm a child of the 90s, so my things are going to be very obscure. Anyways, but no, in all seriousness, Atticus, there is no life, at least, no signs of it, and there is no color. It's like you walked into a grayscale painting.
I guess we'll slowly close the. So, but there's life and there's color in here inside the tent. Or are we now looking around and noticing that there is color?
You are looking around and you don't see any color. The only thing with color is you three and your pet spider, surprisingly.
Who's like dust colored, so he might as well not be colored. He's suddenly vibrantly colored.
He's a big purple spider now.
You've had him in negative mode the entire time.
Yeah. Grayscale. Yeah, something's not right here.
Not one bit.
Hold on, do we? Oh, go ahead.
I know I'm not colorblind, so everything around us, that's gray, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Concerning. Okay.
Just a bit. Just a little.
Are there, Atticus, will look around, and are there any tents or anything similar to what we remember from the memory, like where people were, like where people hung out, like kind of areas like that in this new setting now? Like, do we see indications of like the dressing room area that we saw, like the kid and his dad and those kind of things?
So, you know what? I'm not gonna make you roll for it because I think this is gonna be fun. So let's do this. So, I'm gonna say for this, Atticus, all three of you did, to work as a team, that you pop your heads back out of the tent to kind of see again the same landscape of monochromaticness that is here. I mean, because this is back into the modern day, this is more of a modern carnival with like the rides and everything that you would normally see that are very mechanically driven, which also aren't on no color of it running. However, in the distance, you do see something that does have lights on and whirring. And think of like the giant spotlights that go into the sky and just move back and forth, to kind of like you could see from the distance. And I will give this to you. The three of you notice that it is a very extravagant looking building decked out in the reds and whites of what regular circus regalia tend to be, with accents of gold on it. There's one little thing though that kind of makes your spidey senses tingle a little bit, because from where you are, you could see that there is a entrance of some sort, though you can't make out the details of it, but the sign is big enough where it says House of Mirrors. So those of you who have gone to carnivals or fairs before, think of this as like the fun house where the first thing you have to do is walk through a maze of mirrors to get to the second level. So this is just it's a house of mirrors.
Where we get so many funny videos of kids just running headstrong into every time.
Just full tilt right into a mirror.
Non-stop send it. I love it. I don't know what it is about that.
Well, I guess that's where we're going.
More mirrors?
I mean, it's not really a surprise, really, when you think about it, right?
I mean, at least the good side is there's color.
I don't know how good that's gonna be.
Well, we're not solving anything standing here.
Yeah.
Let's go.
As per usual, I'll go through the doors first.
He's a brave one. He's also the only one that actually put his armor on, so
That's true. We haven't changed yet. Or at least
Yeah.
we haven't said we've changed yet.
we haven't changed back. He never changed out.
No, he's the Batman character. He's just always in his costume.
Yep. Even when he's in his civilian clothes, he's always Batman.
I am the knight.
Side tangent, but I don't know if anyone here watched Batman Beyond.
Yes.
But when one of the villains tries to mess with Bruce Wayne and like puts a thing in his, like tries to trick him so he thinks he's going crazy, or everyone believes he thinks he's going crazy, and then at the end he's like, "No, I knew I wasn't crazy because he kept calling me Bruce. And that's not what I call myself in my head." And Terry McGinnis is like, "Wait, but what do you call?" Of course you do.
Of course you do. Yep. That was such a good show.
Man,
right.
that formed my teenage years. As I get the dirty looks from everybody here, I think. Side note: I think I'm the youngest of the four of us in this chat, but anyway, in this game, anyways. But we could continue. Chris, we can talk afterwards because I think you're the closest to me in age.
I think so. I think we've established this in the past.
God, I'm the baby. Oh Lord.
That yeah, that you're the baby.
Just a baby.
I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or question all my life choices. That's my anyways. So, all right. So, as probably it's going to be a running theme in this game, Atticus that goes through the curtain first, and you guys walk towards the House of Mirrors. As you guys make your journey, the reality sets in that whatever happened after, you were all thrown into the magic hat of transportation into the inner space of our magician. You realize that whatever this magician did here in the real world is causing some not so great things on the surrounding area. I mean, from the lack of color to no signs of any other people or animals or any form of life, if you will. I mean, you do see like a weirdly shaped black alien peer its head around the corner and then shrink back into the shadows. And then you just hear somebody named Sigourney Weaver just get a flamethrower.
God damn it!
See, this is why we mute our mics, so that doesn't happen.
Yes. I almost changed the last name to be, and Chris might get this. I almost said Sigourney Beaver. I was like, nah, this isn't Dragula. I don't know if Chris is impressed or very upset with me, but anyways, back to the story at hand.
The answer is yes.
Oh my goodness. So no, but in all seriousness, as playful as I'm trying to be here, in all honesty, if this was a real thing that were to occur with no signs of life and the vitality and color that the world has to offer, it's very eerily frightening. And the sense of isolation and loneliness begin to kind of creep into the depths of your guys' souls, specifically your minds and your hearts. But there's a bit of comfort knowing that it's the three of you together, more so than you having to do this by yourself. And for what it's worth, you have a pet spider who's ready to fight, so y'all should be in good hands.
We automatically win. I mean,
it's the power of love and friendship. But we'll get there, right?
Our friendship.
Anyways, so making your way through this monochromatic wasteland, you do make your way finally to the House of Mirrors, but it just gets creepier from here because there's a big old entryway, but it's in the shape of a clown's mouth.
That tracks.
This is like all of a sudden over the intercom you hear is just like, we all float down here too. Just kidding.
Stop!
we float down. You'll float down here too.
I just got yelled at because I preyed on Mama Laguilla's fear, so we're gonna move on. I'm like, oops. But yes, it is the clown. It is a clown entrance mouth where it is a set of 5 steps that lead you into the beginning of this large maze of mirrors. So, Atticus, since you have dubbed yourself as the person to go through doors first, do you want to go through the opening of this clown's mouth first?
I'll go in his mouth first.
Hmm.
Hey,
Nope.
Mikey.
Yes.
Mikey.
What's
That's
up?
what she said.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold up. Let me write this down because we are keeping a counter. So now we're at 4 over the course of this adventure so far. I can always rely on JT. Anyways. All right, Atticus. So you have decided to enter.
You're trying so hard.
I'm going to enter into his mouth first. Yes.
You are entering his mouth first. It is very moist. Anyways. No, so you
strangely damp in here.
all of a sudden you just see Ben Skarsgård and the cosplay just doing the weird clown dance, the Pennywise dance. Exactly. Okay. No, let's get through the adventure because I'm going to start creeping myself out. You enter Maze of Mirrors first. Kyler and Lockwood, I'm assuming that you guys also follow right behind.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do a costume change going into this.
You know, I'm here for it. What is this costume change and what does it look like?
Well, it's just going to be me going back into said armor again. So now there's going to be a. I don't know. I don't know. Well, Atticus is in front of me. I don't know where Kyler's probably right close to both of us by my side or something. And then there's just going to be a big old poof of cherry blossoms again, like as we start walking in towards his mouth. It's gonna be great.
Love it. It's beautiful. Alrighty. So the three of you enter this maze of mirrors. So I will say that you guys begin to make your way through. I'm gonna let you decide if you end up like those kids in those videos where you just run full on head first into these mirrors, or if you're actually smart about it. The smartest thing to do is put your hand in front of you, and also you look for areas where there is not a reflection. That's how I've gotten out of Hall of Mirrors quick enough.
Atticus has his sword out, so he'll just lead with the tip.
Just the tip.
Yeah.
That's just to see how it feels.
If it feels right, we'll keep going.
Heyo.
Right. See,
Anyways.
he's got it.
So, for the entirety of this little bit, Atticus's sword is now known as just the tip. So, Atticus pulls out just the tip and uses it very thoroughly. It's super effective. Firmly grasp it, as Patrick would say. Anyways, so you guys do make a little bit of headway. As you so you guys do make your way through. You get about halfway through the maze of mirrors, and after a little bit of time, you do find yourself at the end of it. So good job, boys. But somehow, as you come out of the end of the maze, though, you find yourself in a more opened room that is also still covered in mirrors, but it's like the funhouse mirrors of different shapes and sizes and things like that. And you know what, Atticus, since technically you're in the lead, you get to see this first, followed by the other two. As the three of you make your way into this room, the way that you came out of the maze of mirrors kind of closes it upon itself, and like curtains kind of close a little bit. And you know, there's some theatrical lighting as the lights begin to dim. And right in front of you on this elevated stage a little bit, kind of sitting on the couch, looks to be sleeping versions of you, your aunt Atticus, and a young looking boy. So they're kind of just chilling.
Wait, did I hear you right? You said there's sleeping versions of us?
No, not you guys. So on this couch is Q. So
Oh, Q. Okay, sorry, I misheard that. I thought you said
Kyler's
Q.
ma-
My bad.
Kyler's probably not sure yet. We got to figure it out. Boyfriend slash
Love interest.
partner.
We've
love
known each
interest.
other. We've known each other for like 5 minutes, so we're practically married right now.
Oh,
but-
Oh God!
they've held
hold up.
hands, so it's
That's
like
pretty
held
much common
hands.
law at this
It's
point.
super serial, you guys. No,
Yeah.
but Chris, let me ask this question because it's going to explain a whole lot about character choices. How old is Kyler in this universe?
somewhere between 16 and 53.
You need to
That
leave.
He's in his 20s.
Okay, that explains a lot.
I'm gonna say he's in his 20s.
I was about to ask a follow-up question, realized it's probably not appropriate to ask on stream. I was like, what level of queerdom are we working with here?
Wait, what level of what?
I was like, what level of queerdom are we working up here? Is this is he the first half of a hostess sack name or something else? Like,
Good lord.
On the rainbow scale.
yeah, on the rainbow scale. I forgot what the actual scale is called. Fun fact, there is
Kinsey
a
scale?
scale that's
The
psychology.
Kinsey scale.
The Kinsey scale, exactly. There is a scale
Yeah.
that measures how gay you really are.
And no one to go off of that, no one on the Kinsey scale is either straight or queer. It is never 100% either which way.
Yeah, because sexuality and gender is fluid.
It's a
That is-
spectrum.
It's a
Yep.
spectrum. That has been your TED Talk. Well, thank you for attending our seminar. But back to the adventure. So on this stage is Q, your aunt Atticus, and then a small child. And they are just kind of just chilling. They are sleeping.
Atticus is going to lead over to Kitsune. Do you by chance know that kid?
I don't quite know.
Looks in DM's direction.
Yeah. So, DM.
So hi, Queer Master Mikey here. So to give you this full transparency, and I don't mind because we're still working things out. This is just a child because I mean every child needs to be saved in these types of stories because JT, me and you are still finalizing like your person that would be involved in this. But don't worry, I think I have some ideas I'm gonna run by you because I think it's gonna be fun, especially when we get to our next arc. But yeah,
Nice.
childs
So,
are like the universal sign of yeah, we need a hero.
So, Atticus, you pretty much see me kind of look off into the distance, like almost like I'm scanning through a Rolodex in my head. And I look back at the kid and I look over at you and I go, yeah, nope, never seen that kid before in my life.
All right, cool. So we just worry about saving the other two.
You know, I mean, we'll at least wake him up, but we'll see. We'll see.
Help him find his way back home. Just like
Yeah.
get him out of the
It's a trick.
situation.
It's a trick. He's a bad guy. Kill it first.
Yeah.
First. No, how did you see through my disguise? Just kidding.
It's like Lost Boys. Stab it while it sleeps.
Oh, I love it so much.
All right. From where we're standing, can we see any reflections in the mirrors?
You do, but they're more so reflections of you three. And it's the typical like funhouse mirror status of this is like there's the big one that makes you look super tall, the one that's warped where it makes you look like Super Mario Brothers getting hit and become smaller?
I don't know. Maybe it's because I have a sword. They're mirrors. There's just. I feel like it might be a bad idea, but does anybody else think we should try smashing the mirrors?
You know
Is
what?
it
If
not
that'll
like-
make you feel better, go nuts. Just go nuts, my friend.
Doesn't that bring you like bad luck or something?
I mean, look at where we're.
Do we need more bad luck?
And I guess there's always the possibility that you smash it and then it just makes a bunch of smaller mirrors.
Oh.
And then it's like a whole Fantasia scene of mirrors.
Or evil, or what is it, Army of Darkness, and then there's
Yep.
just a bunch of little
gosh.
versions
Oh,
of us that come
God.
out. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm,
pour hot water down my throat. Okay, okay, no smashing the mirrors. I guess then watch my back, and Atticus is gonna slowly sort out, ready to strike, walk towards the sleeping stage.
Okay.
They're mimics,
So-
aren't they?
Alrighty. So, Atticus, you walk up to the stage. Nothing really happens, and you are easily able to get a lot. You're able to get closer to, the three individuals on the couch. So your aunt, Q, and then the small little child.
He'll reach out and he'll try to rouse his aunt.
Be like, reach out into. Alrighty.
gonna-
So
Do it slowly and be on alert.
okay.
I feel like she's gonna wake up and be an evil creature or something, but I just also feel like something can jump out and get me. So it's
If
just,
your fingers stick to her, she's a mimic.
oh god,
Just remember
That's
that.
exactly what happened. No, I was kidding.
No.
That
kill
is
it
a
with
long-
fire.
Kill it with fire. Burn it down. In the words of Seth Rollins, burn it down. Anyways. No, so Atticus, you are able to. Is this thing on kind of approach? Be like, try to rouse her. As you kind of try to wake her up, you immediately sense something is wrong because as soon as you kind of do the shoulder, just gentle, wake up when someone's sleeping in a chair or something like that, where you kind of just nudge their shoulder a little bit.
Plug
Say what now?
Plug their nose.
Yeah, plugged in. I mean, sure, why not? So, you immediately realize that something is wrong because upon touching your aunt's shoulder, it is not the warmth of human skin underneath clothing. It's very wooden. And upon touching it, your aunt, so to speak, springs up, and so does Q and this small little child. And you immediately realize that these are a la Pinocchio, I got no strings attached to me puppets going on. And so I'm trying to remember my media references, but I believe it's think of Shrek when Pinocchio moves around a lot and the clickety clack sound that comes from his mouth when he moves and when he talks, but amplify that to a sound decibel of times 10, and it's creepy. So you literally can hear the clacking of jaws moving up and down as they kind
All their
of
joints and everything. Yeah.
exactly.
If anybody watches Naruto,
Yes,
it's
Oh,
Sasori
yeah.
controlling his puppets.
yes, that's
That
exactly
chittering noise.
it.
That's what I'm
The
hearing in my
chittering
head
noise.
right now.
Oh, those things terrified me upon first watch when I was younger. And then Conqueror became one of my favorite peoples.
I mean, I mean, my natural. If I can have my natural reaction is to just swing away.
I cleave at you. Ugh.
I mean, easily enough, you cleavage, and you
I
smack.
cleavage them.
I'm Poor choice of words. You swing with your sword, and you are able to easily slice these things.
With the
Roll.
weight of your bosom, this cleavage is amazing.
Jeez Louise. But Atticus, as you swing your sword and you slice through these puppets, you know what? Just for funsies, roll me your 2d6 and just no adages, no tags, just straight up roll.
9.
Cool. That means that this is gonna be fun for me. So, as you slice through it, even though your brain understands that these are just wooden puppets, as you slice through, Kyler, you hear as Atticus slices through this puppet version of Q, you swear you hear like actual voice of Q scream out in pain as he is getting sliced up. You hear the shrill of a young child getting sliced up, but Atticus, for you hear the actual voice of your aunt scream in pain as you slice through that puppet version of her. So again, logically,
Kyler's-
you know this isn't to be real, but your soul and your heart are so unsettled by it.
I feel nothing at the child and this other person. I feel so
Damn.
As you should.
I'm gonna yell out to Atticus when I hear this and just be like wait, they might be connected to them or something. Maybe their actual voices are projecting and they're getting hurt when we hit them.
I mean, Atticus will have swung through and like jump back, and when he hears that, she's like, "Yeah, no, I know, I get that now. Sorry, it was just a reaction."
No, I get it, and to be honest with you, it helped us learn. It might help us learn a little bit more, but I think we're gonna need to apologize later for that. But we got to figure out what's going on with these. That scream sounded a little bit too real.
So as this conversation is happening, the three of you notice that the air around you begins to crackle with an eerie shimmer now. And those mirrors that have been plastered all over the wall begin to stretch now endlessly in every direction, kind of quote unquote distorting reality, if you will. And as these mirrors begin to stretch and shift, and you guys are looking around at the shifting mirrors, one of the mirrors passes in front of the stage, and so imagine this hand is the mirror. As the mirror moves out of the way, all of a sudden you see the magician standing center stage with, you will, his crimson cloak is billowing with the flickering lights as these hundreds of mirrors now begin to dance upon the room and his actual physical form, if you will. And again, in a very dramatic flourish of things, if you will, there is lights and confetti once with the snap of his fingers. You hear an eerie, like piped in, like crowd cheering and clapping just coming from out of nowhere in this room. And the magician just again is on the stage, just in a very flourish, then looks up at you three and just gives you a very, what's the nice word of putting it? A very eerie smile, if you will. And, strap in, kids, because it's villain monologue time. So as, all of a sudden the three of you find yourself, which losing your balance as these chairs appear out of nowhere and kind of scoop you guys up in and float you in front of the stage, if you will. You are not to duct tape in these chairs yet. But the magician just, again, crowd cheering, all this stuff, looks at you three who are now in front of the stage. gives you this eerie smile, and begins to say, again, through the shitty grin, if you will, "Oh, look at you. So desperate to hold on to your fragile self. So certain that your thoughts are your own, but your identity is something special. But tell me, what do you see when you look into my mirrors?" And he kind of waves his hand, and the mirrors begin to shift. And as the three of you look into the various mirrors, you see warped reflections of yourself that range from small little changes to more grotesque distortion. And you three just see copies upon copies of you guys staring back with thousands of different expressions, just staring at you. You see many of you, too many, and yet, which one is real? The one that stands there, or the one just behind you? Or perhaps that one? As he kind of holds his hands out in a very theatrical fashion, laughing. And again, you hear the piped in crowds begin to cheer and anything. To him, this is just a show. The greatest trick that humanity has ever been taught is the idea of individuality. Individuality is a trick, an illusion, a sleight of hand meant to keep you tethered to that foolish belief that you are unique. But to mirrors, mirrors tell the truth. They show you as you are, a pattern, a repetition, a puzzle piece no different from the next. And again, in this very theatrical fashion, he begins to step forward towards your three, his voice now dripping in a velvety malevolence and menacing tone. "Ah, but you resist, don't you? You cling to your precious identity, thinking it makes you strong. You think your choices, your desires, your soul defines you. But what is a soul? If not a reflection of everything you've ever seen, ever heard, ever stolen from the world around you." Again, hands out, he gestures to the mirrors begin to ripple, and the reflections in the mirrors begin to change once again to show you all thousands of different people, different lives, different fates, all still the reflections of thousands upon thousands of copies of you. And now, very close to you three, he kind of leans in with a kind of in a whisper now, with heaviness and emphasis on the finality of his voice. "Why resist the inevitable? Why not embrace the truth? Become part of the grand design. Shed the burden of self. Step into the mirror and be free." As he extends his gloved hands, the mirrors begin to tremble. For a brief moment, you see all the people that got captured in the mirrors, kind of in the same similar comatose state of, the younger magician in the inner space. But then they shimmer and once again are replaced with thousands upon thousands of reflections of you three, all giving a very twisted smile. And yeah, so magicians right up in your face, telling you to just step into the mirror and to be free from all of this. So that that is my pitch. So how do you guys respond to this?
Remind me again, who's got the wand?
I do.
Okay. We'll play that out for a couple seconds here. I have a half-second monologue I'm thinking in my head, so if anybody else wants to go, do it.
Atticus will take in everything that he said and look back at him and say, "Then doesn't the same apply to you?"
Oh, trust me. I made that decision a long time ago. I made the choice to be a part of the grand design of things, to be a pattern, to free myself of that burden. And trust me, It is so freeing to not have to worry about that kind of stuff. You can tell he is very, very in delusion, as the kids say. He's very in Delulu land, if you will, about this whole entire thing. He can't see past, the things that you guys saw in the inner space, the memory that you experienced. And actually, since the three of you are in your Queeros form, you see that in front of him, of course, is his magician's mask. But where once was a very decorative and elegant looking mask is now covered in this very sickly green and black kind of mask. And where the eyes are supposed to be are just pure pitch black, kind of like glazed over the eye holes. So, literally and figuratively, he is blinded to the truth of what this whole thing actually is to him. And just from a queer master perspective, this is the physical form of what ignorance can be. It is literally taking a physical form and blinding, the magician from seeing the truth.
Do I sense anything coming from the wand? Like, do I sense any sort of like, I don't know, forces, energy coming from it just being within this close a presence?
So while not necessarily a burning sensation, you do, wherever you have put the magic wand, the fragment of joy.
Red color too.
Hey, you know what? We're all inclusive here. But the fragment of joy kind of begins to feel warm. So you feel a warmth of energy coming from this fragment that, you guys got from the inner space.
All right.
Don't let. I see what you did, JT. How dare you? I was like, I know where your mind went.
No, I was gonna say out loud, and now that I'm saying it, I was just gonna go, man, my wand feels so tingly and warm right now.
Hang on, let me put that on the counter. Innuendo number 6.
Mhm.
All right. Anyways, magic wand, warmth of glow, fragment of joy.
I think Kyler is gonna pull the wand out of his pocket.
Uh-huh.
And he's trying to get a sense of it, because he doesn't know how to work this thing. God damn it!
Somebody clip this.
Performance anxiety. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It gets to the best of us. It's your first time dealing with this. I think we broke Chris.
At least it's still rigid.
Oh my god! This is an 18 plus stream, so if you're under the age of 18, y'all need to come back in a couple of years.
I had to.
Because we say the word fuck. Oh. It's after hours, right?
I'm just kidding. We're good.
We're past the time. So he's gonna take out the wand, and he's gonna just hold it out, not like really trying to like do anything like swish or anything, but he's gonna hold it out towards, specifically pointing at the mask, and is trying to get a sense from whatever energies that are around for what to do next. Because he's like looking at both Kitsune and Ally and just being like, what do I do? What do I do?
Do you want to see a trick?
I got a magic trick for you, buddy.
Squee! Anyways, it's pronounced Leviosa. I'm just kidding.
Gloriosa.
Variosa.
Flowers.
All of a sudden, a magical green cat shows up, and it's Masquerade, like Meowscarade. Is that you? I'm just kidding.
Masquerada.
Masquerada, yes, and a flamenco dancing duck. Anyways, no. So as you point the magic wand towards the magician, Kyler,
Mm-hmm.
you see as you kind of like flick the wand, the flowers do come out, but there's a new twist in this, y'all. So as you kind of flick the wand, the flowers, the flowers pop out as the little gag. But as the flowers kind of pop out of the wand, you also see bits of chromatic energy kind of just like flying towards the magician, and not necessarily like hurt him physically, but the warmth kind of hits him and he kind of rears back a little bit, and the three of you see that the mask that's blinding his vision now is starting to show a little bit of cracks to it. The magician caught off guard with it, and his composure begins to kind of diminish a little bit and looks directly at you, Kyler, with intent to do some not so nice things to, and says, "Where did you get that? I discarded that a long time ago. Why do you have it? Give it to me now!" And he kind of lunges towards you.
I'm gonna dodge. I'm gonna try to dodge out of the way while drawing my pistol and I'm gonna try to aim specifically for the mask with it.
Alrighty. We have entered into a fight. I'm still trying to workshop a name of what we can call this instead of saying combat, because combat's not necessarily the thing. We have entered into a battle of sorts.
Conflict.
All right. We
I'm
have entered
defending
into conflict.
myself.
We have entered into fisticuffs.
Conflict has begun.
I like fisticuffs. Fisticuffs are fun. Anyways, so we have entered into.
Or
Anyways, alrighty. So you are planning to shoot your gun.
Well,
which is the
I'm
thing.
if he's lunging at me, I'm dodging first and then going to shoot.
Cool. I will say that you're able to dodge.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's roll for it.
Ah!
This is gonna be fun. All right, let me just see what I want you to do. Do.
roll for initiative.
Oh my goodness. Dun, 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 dun. You know what? Just because I feel like it. Because you are intending to get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for all intents and purposes, let's make this a resist. So, Kyler, before you
Yes.
roll your before you roll your 2d6, why don't you see if there's any tags that you could possibly add to this?
Sure. Let's see. Let me. For some reason, I can't pull up the my character sheet on alchemy for some reason.
Boo.
So, trying to see if I have it saved somewhere. Shoot. Do you remember what my tags were? I'm sorry.
It's okay. Hang on. Let me get my sticky notes. I'm glad I still
Yeah.
saved these. Alrighty. Let's see. So your specific tags, Kyler, include it includes pirate, which is spectral ship, seafarer, acrobatics, free the repressed, and your weakness tag of shackles. You have lead by example, which is includes loud decoration, draw attention from others, try me, I dare you.
Mm-hmm.
chains and whips, a la Rihanna. You have you have chain whip fighting, the disarming, and unexpected cuffs, and then your last tag is my crush.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna say those first three though could possibly help you.
Yeah. I'm gonna use my acrobatics tag.
Party.
So
Alrighty, so definitely +1 to that. So let's see what happens.
let's see. It'll be a 7.
7. Alrighty, so on a 7, let's see. As the magician is coming towards you, and you're kind of trying to dodge out of the way, you end up being able to get out of the way for the most part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that you do end up getting a little bit scratched up as he's reaching out for you. You kind of get grazed with whatever pulsating magic he threw out of his hand. And so it kind of just scraped by. And as you kind of touch your cheek to see how much blood he drawn, surprisingly, there's not blood. But part of your face now is porcelain to some extent.
Oh,
So smooth.
I definitely relayed this back to folks, basically shouting, "Watch the magic," or something like that.
As you turn to them,
While he's wielding his wand. Watch the magic.
This magic. So as Kyler turns to you, Lockwood, and to you, Atticus, you see that part of Kyler's cheek is now like this porcelain white. And as he's saying, avoid the magic.
Yeah, that's not point out.
That's like a porcelain Midas right there. We're gonna stay away from that.
So, Kyler, you have successfully dodged just with a little bit, and I have it down that you are porcelain 1 as a status. Don't worry, we can figure that out. We can.
Oh boy,
that's going to be easily. So don't worry. So
I got a real large stick that can take care of that.
Whoa, what'd you say? Real large what?
You heard me.
No, we're gonna try to get through this without me laughing every 5 seconds. So Kyler, you are able to get out of the way. So now you will shoot and fire back. So roll slay. So give me some action. Where's my giant fan when I need it so I can do the clapping?
Right. Such a serve. He was just like,
yeah. So for this shot, what do I want to do for this? I'm gonna try to make a case here, because as I'm shooting to try to crack the mask more, can I use my disarm? Because I'm trying to get the mask off of him.
Yeah, I'd say why not?
Okay. All right,
so,
let's give it a shot.
Be like, nunchuck it to disarm.
Another 7.
So not terribly great, but also not bad to either. So let's see. So slay on a 7. So you do set out what you're going to do, and you can do one of the following as well. So you can either killing it, which, does not allow the magician to counterattack in any way. You can add a little more oomph to it with more power, more coverage to affect a bigger area. You can take something from them. You keep them focused on you, or you can make a comeback, which in this case, you're still evenly, so I don't know how much that would play. But yeah, so those are choices. You set out to do what you do, and you get one little bonus effect for it.
All right. Yeah, I am. I'm gonna try to keep its attention on me.
Okay. So you are going to do that. So you keep them focused on you. So now you are locked into this battle with the magician trying to take the magic wand from you. Alrighty.
Hey, I mean, one of my tags is also draw attention away from others. So
Hey, you know what? It works out for our ever fun loving pirate.
yeah,
Alrighty. All right. So Kit and Ally, you see this all go down. What are you going to do?
Is he wielding anything? The
I mean, he
magician?
has. I mean, he has his like little staff.
Okay. Go ahead if you've got something, Kitsune. If not, I'll jump in there.
I'm still thinking for words on dialogue. I want to make this really epic. I want to make this so epic. So go ahead and do that. I'm just like, the wordsmith's not here. I've got to make up for it. Let's see.
This whole fight's gonna happen, and he's gonna respond to a question that was like 20 minutes ago.
Pretty much.
42.
Yeah. Alabama. Wait a minute.
Oh my gosh.
I just thought of another Justice League reference. You have to eat it with a spoon. I don't know if anyone will get that reference, but all right. Atticus will his focus is on Kyler, and they've kind of moved away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you, Kyler, like, what's your positioning?
So I would say Kyler is kind of off to the east of y'all because he just dodged out of the way and pulled out his pistol at him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. You can see Kyler's kind of trying to draw them away from you all, so that you can get an easier vantage point.
And was there actually any contact that the magician made to Kyler when he turned him part of his face to porcelain, or was it
His
just
magic?
Like aura?
It was just like magic aura.
All right, well, that's concerning. I mean, what can I do? I got a sword, and my fighting style is karate, so here we go. Atticus will go in. Yeah, I mean, he's going to try and disarm him. And I know we're supposed to try and break their ignorance, but he feels like he's got to lessen the threat before we can do that. So he actually means disarm. I'm going to go for that arm wielding, that staff, magic wand, whatever it is that he has.
Okay. Are there any Yeah.
Huh?
Remember that preacher said that killing is against the rules, but there's nothing. It's a little fuzzy on the kneecaps.
I'm going to add for sure superhero weapon fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And karate. I mean, I'd like to add decisive and powerful because he's making the strong choice of he's gonna Luke Skywalker him. All right. 10 plus, if I get to add all three, that would be 13.
Jeez Louise. Alrighty, so that is I mean, okay, let's see. So
I'm the loner swordsman. This is all I do.
I know. Okay, so with the 13, because this was Slay. Yeah. So you get to pick 2 of these things. So
Okay.
killing it, which prevents them from counterattacking, more power, more coverage. You take something from them, you keep them focused on you, and you make a comeback. So you get 2 of those things.
Okay, let me see. I'm trying to get to where. Oh, Slay. Here it is. Okay. So I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know if I don't think I can do the thing that would make the most sense, which would be try to take away the mask, because that's not anything I was aiming for. So going with what I described, the thing I'm going to take from him is his hand. Chop that off. Just no hand for you.
Oh my gosh.
And okay, so it says more power is +1 status tier. What does that mean?
So that was going to be my question, but you answered my question, in which are you intending to disarm or to cause a little bit more damage? So since you are intending to do damage, that means instead of tier 1, he will get to tier 2. Look, Ma, no hands is what I'm calling the tag.
Okay.
My other one was because I'm ratchet like that. Is like the song "No Hands" is like. Love the way you move it, got me in a trance.
Hey, magician, what's that sound of one hand clapping?
Damn, you really are Batman with this whole thing. I mean, you know, you are vengeance. You are the knight. You are the ally. So you go in and you are able to, for all intents and purposes, you literally not disarm, but you dishand him. And I will say, for the sake of for it not to turn into a horror movie too much, I will say that you are successful in doing so. But it's like, as you chop it off, you see like mirror shards. Whereas normally blood would pop out after slicing off a whole appendage, you just see bits of mirrors like coming out of where a hand once was.
That makes me feel less comfortable.
But you set out, and now literally he is at no look my hand or like tier 2, like level 2. So he's in a bit of pain. And I hate to ask this, but what's the other thing that you wanted to do with that? Because you get 2 of those things.
I'll do the killing it so he can't counterattack.
He's too worried about be like Peter Griffin and be like,
he wants to do something, but he's a little stumped.
Oh.
But
all right, guys, that's the end of this episode. All right, so Kyler and Kit, you see this all go down. Kyler, you're a little bit more closer to the action because you literally were face to face with a magician. Ally comes in, literally stumps this man, and then also the focus is on Ally now. So, Kit, we come to you. Is there anything that you would like to do to kind of aid in this scrimmage, if you will?
Well, I definitely can tell you I'm probably not going to beat the pulp out of him, but because that's already been taken care of. Okay, hang on. I'm trying to envision this. So I'm off to the side. Ally's pretty much in close, hacked off a hand. Kyler's off to Ally's side. They're facing. Okay. Me, more or less, at a slight yell to the magician, is, what is this wand to you? You've already put on such an amazing show.
All right, so you are going to use the power of words to kind of get through to our magician. So Oh, this is gonna be fantastic. So, Kit, you get to roll one of my favorite things on in this game, which is going to be literally talk it out. So,
Now talk it out. Now talk it out. Okay.
now talk it out, talk it out, talk it out, talk it out. The little dance makes it so much better. So, you are trying to negotiate or de escalate the situation in good faith by reaching out to them. Reach out and literally, Kit, you're this magician's own personal Jesus.
Dang, I've been
Anyways,
called a lot of things before, but I don't think I've been called a personal Jesus. Okay.
you're
All
wrong.
right.
Anyways, okay, so the funny. All right, so you are going to look at your tags and see if there is anything that you can add. If not, it's just going to be a straight 2d6 roll, and then we'll see what happens.
Are you okay if I use attention to detail?
Yeah, I will say because
Okay.
you got to witness the moment that kind of turned the magician into what he is currently right now and have a better understanding of who they are, I will definitely
Yep.
count that. So you will get to do a +1 when you roll.
Perfect. Okay, let's do this. Leroy Jenkins. 8.
Okay.
That's with the +1.
Okay. So here's what happens. So there's going to be a little bit of a complication. So, so you are able to make some progress, but there's going to be a little bit of a complication. So let's see. Ooh. Okay. I'm actually going to. So the cool thing is with the complication, I usually normally get to decide, but it also gives me the ability to put the power in your hands. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. So, Kit, you are going to make a little bit of progress, but I want you to pick the complication for this situation. So, here's the complication. Demand. The magician demands that there be a condition or a price that you won't like that you're going to have to do to reach through to the magician more. Steel Man, the magician wants you to show them you understand their perspective, which is what they're currently under the influence of ignorance. Or 3 is attached. The magician gives you a relationship status with a tier equal to the action's power. So your soul will forever be changed by whatever is about to happen next. So I'm going to let you pick which complication occurs here.
Oh, that third one sounds really fun, but I think I'm going to do number 2.
Okay, Steelman, you need to show them you understand the magician's perspective in order to make a headway. So I'm going to let you do that one. So you reached out, you talked about it. The magician briefly pauses, looks at you, Kit, and says, "What would you know? What has going outside of the norm by disregarding, you know, the conformity of just following what everything else and the world expects you to be? What good comes of not following those set of rules? Surely surely you understand what it's like that being an outsider or being different brings nothing but trouble and headache."
Slowly walking to the magician. I do understand. I saw where you were many years ago. You were just a little kid and you were absolutely scared. And what did you do? You decided that you wanted to show your own father that having entertainment and touching the will of another person to make them laugh is better than having fame, fortune, or anything else. And yet, look at this as I point to all the mirrors to the to the crowds that he's ended up making, you've done that. You've done that right now. There's no way in what you just said that you could make all of this. So I need to know, why do you need that wand?
So, as you kind of finish saying this, you understand where the magician's coming from, but you are still able to get through to them a little bit. And then you see the mask that they are wearing begin to crack even more. And you can see the bravado begin to falter even more so, Kit. So now, where once was an expression of pure confidence and showmanship, now starts to break away and fall apart, as now the magician is looking ever more so conflicted and confused. At this point, the three of you see the fragment of joy begin to glow even more intensely and begin to be engulfed in this amber kind of color of light. Kyler, you are still, in possession of the wand. You see this wand, glow a amberish orangey hue. And I'm going to come back to you. What would you like to do?
So Kyler's gonna look at the wand and see that and he's gonna essentially, in a way, like last time he used it, he just threw it out there trying to figure out what's going on. But now he could feel, now being able to feel the power in it, he is just gonna try to concentrate what he can of like his own personal energy into it, and then just jut it outwards towards the mask again. And basically this time putting all of himself into it rather than just as an action.
Ooh, I love it. All right.
It's like the equivalent to a Care Bear stare right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
I mean, you're not wrong. Alrighty, let me see. Alrighty, so let's see. What would I like you to do? So, alrighty. So, I'm going to have you. So, in a sense, I'm gonna have to talk it out, but I am going to pull a QUEERZ master added to it, and this is going to be using the the QUEERZ force, so to speak. So that empathy that Mother was talking about, of which your QUEERZ power come into play, think of that as like the final attack, like in a Power Rangers episode where the bad guy finally goes down and stays down, minus the Megazords.
Nice. Okay.
So, do you have any tags that are going to allow you to break through that final chunk of ignorance to kind of shatter their current perspective of things, physically and metaphorically?
I'm gonna try, and you can tell me if it doesn't fit. I'm gonna try free to repressed.
So that's one. I'll give you that one.
Trying to think of what I would say because I want to use loud declarations.
Loud
you could,
noises.
in the words of Billy Joel, you could use it as a rebel yell, if you will.
Okay, yeah. So I'll probably use that. And given the sense that he's like trying to put his own like energies into it, I want to use slowly building confidence.
Yes, we love to watch progressive character arcs. I will allow all three, so you get a +3. You better not, in the words of RuPaul, and don't fuck it up.
Here we go. 10.
Hell, you barely made the threshold. Oh my god! Holy
Wait,
crap!
That's 10 with the modifiers?
That's 10 with the modifiers.
Holy crap!
Damn.
Damn! I'm telling you, man.
And
but-
Kyler just puts some is putting his energy as he's thinking about it. And he's gonna say, oh, he's gonna say, you deserve to be your own person. Now show the world how you can, as he juts out the wand another time directly at the mask. You're muted.
I knew that.
It was
Your mic.
it was a pause.
Your mic muted, not system muted.
it was a pause for effect.
Yes, it totally was.
Sound effects.
Shh. So Kyler, as you yourself pull off the greatest magic trick in this moment, which is firing this energy towards the magician's mask, you see all three of you see the energy hit the mask, and for cinematic purposes, time kind of slows down a little bit as this wand's power kind of slowly begins to go towards the mask. And in a very cinematic style, you see flashbacks of everything that has transpired from the beginning of this adventure to being in the Hall of Mirrors to meeting Mother and Artio, going into the young magician's memory and seeing what happened, fighting in the memory, getting the fragment of joy, and then, just showing the still shots of the fight that you're currently in. The energy hits the magician's mask. The cracks begin to become more prevalent, and ultimately the mask shatters, and all you see now for a brief moment is a scared young man as he kind of falls back with the force of the wand's power, and kind of just slumps on over to the ground, still in one piece. Y'all didn't kill him.
Took his hand.
So upon the mask being destroyed, you see that the mirrors and everything begin to dissipate. You see the maze that you came through also shatter and kind of disappear. You see the colors begin to come back into the world, and in a bright orangey hue, a flash of light, you see dazed and confused people strewn across the carnival, figuring out what's happened. And within your guys' vicinity in this area of this little room, you see, well, Atticus, you see your aunt, and then Kyler, you see Q. Kind of also dazed and confused a little bit, kind of getting rid of the grogginess of whatever went down. And you three come to the realization that you did it. You were able to break through using this fragment, and you were able to bring everyone who was trapped in the mirrors back.
Yay!
You said everyone's dazed and confused right now.
Uh-huh.
Are any people looking at us or anything like that? Or are they just in different areas? Is anyone noticing us yet?
Not yet. Everyone's still kind of just coming to.
Are we relatively close to each other? We should either like de-queero or not let people know who we are, like secret identities and all, like do some like pick one or the other. I don't want people to know my secret identity.
It's probably best we get out of here and change.
All right, I think is the magician still here?
Yeah, he's still here. I mean,
Is he still one-handed?
I will say, for all intents and purposes, he has his hand back. It's no longer
okay.
like an amalgamation of like mirror bits. He's like back to normal. You kind of broke through the ignorance which gave him those powers.
Heart healed, everything healed.
Well, I mean, there's only one way to find out. You're going to have a conversation with him. But he is currently a little knocked out at the moment.
All right, I'll scoop him up. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
So, do you mind if I do a small monologue as they're starting to leave?
Sure.
You said that they're still coming too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as they start to leave, I do the de-queer. So another large poof of cherry blossoms everywhere. And you hear me go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so very much for coming to this event tonight. My name, well, you can call me Kit. We've seen our brilliant we have seen our brilliant magician do feats of wonder tonight, conjuring things from the air, bringing people and loved ones, one and all, to this fine establishment that we've had. I hope that you have the greatest of nights tonight. And remember that if you have any doubt that magic is not real, just imagine what you've seen tonight. And I take a small bow and I walk off with the rest of them.
Perfect. Loved it. The audience, the people who are coming to are a little confused, but then they kind of like slow clap because they're like not sure how to respond.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. It was a magic trick.
Cool. It was an elaborate trick.
No, I get it now.
Can I do something too? Once we all get out of the tent, and do we have a magician with us? Do we have him with us? Okay.
Yep.
We do.
I'm like, how about one more magic trick? And I want to summon my spectral flying pirate ship.
Oh, sweet.
Sweet.
And we can hide in the pirate ship. We can hide in the pirate ship and go into the clouds. We have a base.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? That is all good with me.
We're Go Kiger.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so you guys are able to get out of there. I will say that you are able to travel away from the carnival and you find a secluded place to kind of be able to do this. So it's the three of you with this, magician on the ship.
I feel like we forgot something.
That is very true. And as the three of you are kind of figuring out what to do, Kyler, you said that you're flying currently in the sky, right?
Yeah, we're on our ship.
Lovely. Okay, so as you as you are going on a trip in your favorite spectral ship, zooming through the sky, I'm getting dirty looks, so some of y'all know what
little queer guy.
Yes. Listen, I have little cousins and little children that I babysit from time to time, so that's a thing. But as you are flying through the sky and figuring out what your next step is going to be, Kyler, you're at the helm of your spectral ship, piloting this thing. All of a sudden, as you come through a collection of clouds, you halt your spectral ship because as you come through this sea of clouds, you find yourself directly in front of what looks to be five uh like like other floating mechanical ships in the sky. And as you
Oh.
kind of look around, the three of you find yourself surrounded. And before you are able to kind of figure out, whether to fight or flight it, over a loud system from one of the main ships, which seems to have, think of it as like the Marvel's like helicarrier with like a deck on top of the thing as well. So for all my comic book nerds out there, think of like a helicarrier with a deck on it. But as the three of you are looking at this over the loudspeaker of this thing, it says, "We mean you no harm. It's just that we just have a few words that we would like to discuss with you." And as the three of you focus your attention onto the direction of the sound, think of it like a holographic image of a screen popping up in the middle of this sea of clouds of you and surrounded by five other flying mechanical ships. And on this image, you see a middle-aged woman who happens to be caramel skinned, you dressed in a somewhat casual manner, if you will, and very relaxed face, all that kind of stuff. And as you are looking at the screen, she says, my name is Carmen Valentina, and I just need a few words with you. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Finally, I can introduce this character. Holy crap.
She leads a covert government organization known as Barrier.
I mean, maybe. But you're going to have to come back to the next episode in order to find all that out. So, congratulations, players. You have successfully completed your first arc in this campaign. So, kudos and claps to all of you. It was a journey to get here, but the chapter 0 of it all, it is now complete. And when we come back in 3 weeks, we will get the epilogue of this current chapter to set up arc 1, which is, not to give too much away, but arc 1 has been entitled The School of Hard Knocks.
Oh, dang.
Oh boy.
So strap in, kids, because the QUEERZ are going to be heading back to school.
No.
But you'll have to tune in 3 weeks
Yay.
to figure out what that all entails. So I want to thank my players for being here this evening. Thank you, boys, so much. Without you, this story is not possible. I hope you had a great time this evening because I love being able to tell this wacky story of heart, horror, and a little bit of innuendos because we have a great time with those.
A little.
But little, I mean,
a little. I don't think there was a little bit of innuendos. I think there were.
No, there was
Just
a lot
the
of just the tip. Yes. Of course. So we got to get up on out of here. But also a shout out to Halfling Wizard Productions for allowing me to run this game on the channel here. So our next session will be Saturday, March 22nd. Yes, 22nd, 23rd, whatever that. You know what? Hang on. My brain is going to be mad at me if I don't pronounce
One of those marches.
Yeah, 22nd. So I had it right. So we will be back in 3 weeks on Saturday, March 22nd.
That's Earth Day, baby.
On Earth Day. So we will be back on Earth Day with another exciting episode of QUEERZ. So from myself, my players, the large and in charge Will, who runs Halfling Wizard Productions, I want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in this evening, and tune in 3 weeks for our next episode. But until then, make sure you take care of each other and yourselves this evening. Make sure that you always know that you are always invited to the table. And more importantly than anything, never be afraid to be your own queero and to show your uniqueness to the world. We will catch you later in 3 weeks. But until then, sayonara, adios, and is it queero time yet? We'll catch you later. But ta-ta for now.
Tiny robes he's wearing so fine, in the tavern sipping on wine, knows the secrets of the old halfling wizard never told. Mystic wand and a pointed hat, talks to people about this and that, sneaky tricks and a wink in his eye. Halfling wizard makes the hours fly. Oh, halfling wizard in the night, casting spells to the moonlight. He can talk and he can know. In his world the magic grows. Down the road in evening light, he'll engage you, that's his delight. Readers of the stars he seeks, in a crowd he's sure to speak.